Hi. So in this video today I will go over a few things. First we'll go over in the project browser to show you different views, because in the project browser if you go and check in our Revit template, you could find that there are working views, there are documentation views and presentations views. So we'll talk about that, and then different view templates, and we'll also talk about that's our main topic for this video, is to create the sheet for the glazing calculation and showing the exposed building face or wall area and the glazing area, and from that you will find out what are the your glazing percentage that you get in your for your project. And then we'll first prepare those elevation drawings, and then we'll also create a legend, and then we will show you how to insert those drawing and the legend on sheets. So let's go to Revit. Now in Revit, the first thing, as I say, like different views in project browser in our this template. So if you go at the very top even of the project browser, you could see that they have, this is the home tab. So in the home tab it shows everything that is under project browser, all your like families and then different views, schedules, legends, sheets, everything appears. So if you want to filter, if you have the thing, and just to see the views, then the next thing is the views. So if you click on that, it will show you just the different views. So there is the working view, so now you're working on your working views, and then there's the presentation views. So some floor plans and the drawings in the presentation view, and there's the documentation view. So these are all the only the views. It will not show the unnecessary that you don't need now. So next one is the legend. So if you want to see just the legend, then that's you click here. So it will be easier for you to find and browse. And there's the schedule, and this is all the sheets. Like when you will have all the sheets added in your project browser, then it will show just the sheet. So if you need to work on those sheets, just click on that, and it will not show, you will just see the sheet. So it will be easier for you to work. And just to see only the families, you just click on that, it will show only the families, and it will be easier to navigate and browse. So let's go to the um, views now. Now you will see that we have working view, and we have a presentation view, and we have a documentation view. So what are the differences between those is working view is currently what the drawings you are working on it. So it's mostly the differences are based on the different things to be visible or to view on these drawings. So say for example, the working views, now we are putting, like say I'm showing you an example, that if I go to the working view floor plan, so you will see that I can see my walls and my stairs, everything, like the furniture I added. So everything, whatever I'm working on it, it will be visible over there. But in the presentation drawings, and I haven't added any dimensions. So if you would have added the dimensions, it will also appear, like everything, whatever you added or you're going to add, it will appear with there. And then the presentation view is, presentation views are the presentation drawings mostly. And those drawings are mostly, it's not working drawings. It will be just a presentation drawing to show, like when if you go and see and check any brochure of any house, or if you go to check the show homes, and they will show you some nice colorful floor plans, elevations, and 3D views. So those are like when we present those to the clients or customers. So those are the presentation drawings. We don't need the detailed dimensions or the notes and the text and all the detailed things. So we can take them off. So we are not taking them off, but we are hiding them. So that's the, and by this template, in this School of Construction template, that's a presentation view template, they already created, set up those, make those settings in this presentation view template. So then you don't see those unnecessary, like it doesn't need the dimensions, but it has all, you see that the walls are nicely filled out with solid color, and a little bit of shadow is turn on. So those are nice presentation view drawings. And the documentation views. So documentation views, if you go to the floor plans, and same floor plan, if I check in the documentation views, you won't see the furnitures over here, but I turned that on. That's why it's showing. Let me go and turn that off. So, but anyways, you could anytime bring those back. But the documentation views are the drawings that you will bring in your sheets. So when you will insert your drawings, finally after you are done, and then go to the your sheet, and then you will see like that. So when you will bring your drawings and one by one, like you will create for a floor plan, site plan, elevation, sections. So in those case, like in the sheets, whatever the drawings you will bring, those will be under the documentation views. Okay, so those are the basically the differences are between like what you want to show in your drawings. And so based on that, they have three different categories of views. While we're working on that, then we can talk about in detail later. Now, the first thing is we need to, today's topic is to create this kind of drawings and inserting them in the sheet. And this is a simple site plan to show the limiting distances and all the, if this is the front, so okay, we could tell easily that's the front limiting distance, that's the side limiting distance with this simple site plan beside it. And it shows with the different colors on the different walls, front, rear, or east, west, north, south. And based on that, we created a small table showing the information, what's the wall area, what's the opening area, and what is the limiting distance, and what is allowed according to your building, according to your building code from that chart. You need to find out what is allowed and what you have in your project, that is that thing percent designed, so that is that much 21.79% you are having, but 100% is allowed according to building code. So we'll put those information and we'll put the drawings. Now we need to, first of all, we need to prepare our elevation drawings like that, each one by one, and then we can, if I will show just one, and then you can repeat those for the same steps for creating the other three elevations, and then you can insert. Okay, let's go to Revit. Now I'm going to, as I said, we will go to the documentation view. So go to the documentation view, and then there are the elevations. So we need to bring the elevation. So for example, I will do this, my 3D. So that's my west elevation. My building is an L-shaped building. So in this case, I will do this separately. So this face separately, and then that face separately, right? You could give a name. The calculation will be separate, but the drawing could be just one drawing. You can put different colors on both walls. Now, uh, the first thing what I have to do is my west elevation. I need to go to my documentation views. Okay, so my west elevation, I will duplicate, because these are the original elevation that you will put for your elevation drawings on your sheets. But I am creating the small elevations to show the exposed building area and your glazing, right? So what I will do is selecting my west elevation, and I will make a duplicate of this. So you select that and right click, and there is a duplicate view. You duplicate, and then so now it duplicated that view, and then you can rename it by right clicking again and rename. And so that's how I created this one. So I'm not clicking, I already have one, west elevation glazing calculation. So that's the name I gave for this duplicate west elevation for my glazing. Now if I go there, you could see that I don't, maybe you will see the levels. I don't see the level, and I don't see my basement. So let me delete those things and I will show you again. So the levels are not shown here because I did that setting. Okay, how I did that? Now we'll talk about, as I say, that different view template. So we'll talk about the different view templates now. And where can you find it? If you go to the properties. Now all these documentation views and the drawings under documentation views, they are under certain template. Now this one, say for example, just the simple elevation, if you click on west elevation, and if you go to here in the properties under the identity data and view template, if you click on that, you will see that there is, this drawing is under this template. So we have a School of Construction, the large template, but within this large template there are few like sub templates for each category of drawings. So for example, for all the floor plans there are one template, or the elevations there are one template, and the sections for there is another template. It's mostly because like when you will show the drawings, the floor plans, say you have three floor plans, and you don't want to keep the furnitures, but you want to keep all the plumbing fixtures and the walls and the floors. So I'll just set it up and the scale, like a certain scale, and then all three floor plans, if I just select and put them in this template, all, all the three floor plans will be similar in terms of the characteristics and properties, because they are under that template, so it will take the properties of that template. Okay, so this is under that elevation, and you see the scale is that, so all the elevations under this template will take that scale. If I go to visibility, so all the elevations under that template will take those, have those visibility set up. Now, for my, that was my regular elevation, but I'm not working on that. I copied one and I gave the name the west elevation glazing calculation. So this one, what I want to do is I click on this view template, and there was no, I just created that one, this glazing elevation. So because I am trying to create a separate template for my only the glazing elevations. Okay? Because they would be smaller in scale. So I will set up the scale. So how would you do that? If you go to any elevation template, and then here you would see duplicate. So you click on duplicate, and then you give the name. So that's what I gave them, this and underscore glazing elevations. So I gave a name and I created a template. So my this west elevation glazing calculation, that view, I went in the opening that drawing, I went to the properties, the view template, I click on that and I select that. Now I can do the setups. So I'm keeping that, making that 1/8 scale. And then if I go to the visibility box, and then you could see, because the levels are not showing in this drawing, because I need to make a clean drawing, I don't need to show the levels, right? So if you go on the very top, the model categories are all those things that in the model that you want to show or not. And then annotation categories, so levels is one kind of annotation. So if you go to the JJKL, so you see that I turned off the levels, so that's why my levels are not showing over there. And then, so that's my template for the all the glazing elevations. And anything else you want to set up here or modify or edit, you can do that too. Okay, now, so this is my elevation. And now if I do for other elevation also, if I go to east elevation, I make a copy, and then that one I also put that in my glazing elevations. So then it will also take all the characteristics of the glazing elevation that I set up. Similar, like north elevation, I duplicate, view, duplicate, and then I give a name on the rename, and then glazing. So here you could see that all the levels are appearing, but I don't want to see the levels, right? So what I need to do is I will go to the properties and click here under the view template, because it is now already an elevation template, but it will be my glazing template. So whatever the glazing template I created, so I will just select that. So now it will take the properties of the glazing template. This box, you can uncheck that one, then it won't show over here. And this thing you can, again, like these things, like the section view, you could again go to the section, your template, and here you can manage what you want to show, what you don't want to show, right? Okay, so I was working on west elevation. Now I also did, to make it a little bit nicer, I put a grade line over here, which I used only the 2D lines, detail line, which you can find under annotate. If you go to the annotate tab, and there is the detail line option, you click on detail line, and there are the drawing options. So you can pick any tool, like a line, and then here are all the different types of line types and line weights. So solid lines, the black color, they have gray, dark color. So I just picked a black with certain, these are all the line weights. So I drew it from here to here. So that's how I got my grade line. Uh, One thing is these 2D elements that I'm doing, 2D lines, this will be, I have to do each elevation separately, because these are only detail items and two-dimensional. It will not show up in other drawings. Anyways, now I need to, if I want to hide my basement, so in that case, what I will do is, again, I'll go to annotate, and there is a region, so click on that arrow. So there is the two types of region. One is fill region, one is masking region. Fill region is this, like when I'm filling that wall with the color. Just the opposite of that is the masking region. If you want to hide something, then we use that masking region. So if you click on that, again, like that rectangle, and then what I will do is I'll pick the line because if I just hide, it will show the outline. So what I will do is I will choose the invisible line here, and now if you draw something over here and check, so you will see that now my basement is hidden because I don't want to show that. I don't need to show that for my glazing calculation. My main focus would be from the grade level till the ceiling, right? Okay, now let's come to the first thing is my building, exposed building face area. So I will put a region to show that color, right? So I'll pick here fill region, and when I pick the fill region, you could see here there are by default some solid pattern. You could choose any pattern, or you could choose just the solid fill. So I had made, and anytime if you want to, you can go to edit type and change the color. So if you go to green, I just pick the green, and here I will just pick the rectangle. Here I'm not keeping a invisible line, just thin lines are okay. So my exposed building face would be from the ceiling till the grade level. Now I check, so you see that is my, now this exposed building face, why I'm doing this actually is to get the area of my this wall surface, the exposed building face, right? If you click on that, you will see in the properties tab it shows the area, which is 407.48 square feet. So my, if I go here, my wall area, I got this one 407.56 or whatever that I got. So that is my wall area. I got that in square feet, but in the building code it is in metric square meter. So you could also use the you need to convert that into square meter. Now let's go back again. So that's my wall area. Okay, now if you see that you want to make, sometimes it is so solid you cannot see the windows behind it, because now I need to get the window area, right? Or if you want to make this color a little bit lighter tone, then what you can do is you just select and right click and go to this override graphics in view and by element, and let me look, it selected that thing also, yes, okay. Right click and override graphics in view by element, and then you could see here either you could make it halftone or you could increase the transparency, and then you will see that now it will be a little bit lighter. If you want, you can do the halftones, it will be very, very light color. But again, that's my wall here, and it shows me the area of that portion. So for the other wall that is behind, you can do the same way. You can do another color, and the same way you go to fill region, and this time maybe I will have red. I can pick the red, maybe, sorry, like the rectangular tool would be better. And again, the same way like that. So again, like it's so solid, right? I cannot see the window. So what you can do is right click, override graphics view by element, and either make it halftone, or you could also make it increase the transparency, right? Now you could see the, so you can give the name, like here the, also your could be by this one west elevation, I can do EBF 1, EBF 2, so I can do like that also, right? Like exposed building, oops, it's too big. So that could be, make it a smaller size. So you can give a name like EBF 1, and then because I have two surface, right, EBF 2, so then you will get the area of EBF 1 and you will get the area of EBF 2. EBF 1, this is EBF 2, is that one. Okay, now let's we need to find out, because we already have some glazings on this wall, so I will find out like how much my total glazing area on this wall is, right? So I will do the same thing, fill region, and then I will pick this time a different color, dark gray maybe, and then pick the rectangle and draw on top of your glazing one by one, one by one. From there, I'm not taking the trim because that's not the glazing. And then you will see, so 66.71 square feet is my glazing area opening, that number. is my that. It's showing me the total glazing area on that wall. And then what you can do is if you go here, if you go there from this chart, finding out your exposed building face area and your limiting distance, you can find out what building code allows you to, how much percentage. So if, say, for example, it's a 30 square meter and then your limiting distance 1.2, then you are allowed to have 7%. But then in your here in from your house project, this area we got the wall area is that, and then your glazing area is that. So what you will do is glazing area divided by wall area times 100%. And then you will find out what you are having in your house in that wall, right? So that's how you will calculate your glazing. And this is what from the building code chart what you have got, right? So for example, the right wall they have got 9% is according to building code, but well, in this project they're using 5.58%. Okay, now let's go to the Revit. So that's my elevation is done. So similar way, I will do the rest of the three elevations and do the calculation. And now I will go to my sheet and I'll show you how you can insert. So we did this third step, creating a legend. So let me show you the creating a legend, and then I'll show you how you can insert the drawings and the legend on sheet. Okay, now let's go here. Legend is this thing, this all information like a table and chart. You can write over here, but it's good to in Revit. It organizes everything in like a, so then like you can bring them on your sheet easily. So if I go there, you could, how would I create the legend, like that table? So what we will do is if you go to view and there is the legend. So you click on that, you click legend, and then it asks you for a name. So you give a name like glazing calculation. I have one already. So okay, so when you created that, so it gives you an empty space, right? And here you can create your table with the detail lines. So these will be all two-dimensional lines you can create with the lines. You create the table however you want to create the table, and then just with the lines. And then there's also the text under detail like annotate. So you can write here, you can write west elevation, right? So you can once you finish, so it is automatically added under your legend. So let's go and check. Here is the legend in the project browser. So you'll see glazing calculation new. So that one, that's the one that I created. So all the legends that you create will appear over here. Now I just click the home so then I could see the other stuffs. Okay, now I have created my drawing. I prepared my elevations and I have prepared my legend. Now I'm ready to bring them in my sheet, right? So let's go to the sheets. You could also click here. So then in the project browser, then it will just show the sheet. Now in this template, you have one, the cover sheet. That's the template of the cover sheet. And then you can just type over here and will get the list of all the drawings on your cover sheet. I'll talk about that in the next video. So don't yet start typing the list of the drawings over here, because once you have created all the sheets over here, Revit automatically create that list. So you don't have to do manually. Now this is just one sample. So I have one, just that one right now. And what I did is I just renamed the glazing calculation. And if you need another sheet, so you just click on that and then duplicate. So duplicate empty sheet. So it will duplicate another, it will, so copy another sheet. So you'll bring the rest of the drawings over here. Now going to the, I'll just close this, otherwise too many drawings. So for example, now I have the glazing calculation. So I'll bring my drawings that I did for my glazing, the elevations I created. So you see here the west elevation. So how we will bring them on sheet is going to your project browser, locate your drawing, and then select and just grab it over here, drag and insert. right? And so that's one drawing. My scale was 1/8, so it was quite good. And then that same way you bring the other drawings also. I haven't done anything with my other drawings, but the same way you just drag it and bring it over here and adjust. And you see here, so you can adjust the, for this one, it went way farther from here. So you can just select and move and bring it over here. So that's how we bring our drawings. Same way we will also bring the legends. If you go to the legends here, I had one, like if you again like drag it here, however wherever you want to put, you just bring your legend over here. Now the same way, if you want to bring your that site plan, like in the example we showed a site plan, a nice, like a very clean site plan. So what you could also do is go to, there is under the site plan, under the documentation view, of course, go to the site plan. So that's the original site plan. You could also duplicate for the glazing purpose. Go to duplicate and duplicate the, you can again like rename that as site plan glazing sheet, and then so it will look like that. What you could do is you can hide the roof if you want, or the other steps. You can edit and whatever according to your preferences, you can do that. So I will just do the same thing. I'll grab it and bring it over here. It's quite, so like you can, so these are all the viewports, like for viewport for each of those drawings. So it's like a separate viewport. Now, if you want to work on this drawing while staying on the sheet, you can just double click or here, select that viewport and then activate. So it will be activated. Now you can work on that drawing directly on this sheet. But I would recommend to do any modification or change going into the original drawing and then do it. So then it will not mess up with this. Now, if I select that, and I need to make sure which template it is. So you can it is under site plan, but if you don't want to change the site plan view, you can again like duplicate site plan glazing, and then here you could do the scale if you want to change the scale, or if you want to change the visibility, like what you want to see, like especially like some, like the section marks, or the other kind of like tags. I don't have any tags over here now, but if you have some other stuffs, and then especially I think like those section boxes, section tags, scope boxes, if you don't want to see those, and then you can check those so it will be hidden. Mm. Anyways, so it will be like the same like we did last time. So that's how you bring all the drawings on your sheet with the correct or desired scale. And then in the next video, we'll talk about the other drawings, but the process is the same way. Like you go to the sheet and duplicate this sheet with a blank sheet, and then you will bring your drawing. One thing is, it's very important to know that Revit does not let you insert the same drawing twice. If you see that you already created a sheet with this elevation, I cannot bring that elevation again in another sheet. So what I have to do, if you need something like you need to duplicate, and then you could bring that into another sheet. But once your this drawing is added into this sheet, it won't let you to add that one into another sheet. And now if you want to remove any drawings from your sheet, you see like those highlighted blue color means those drawings are added in my sheet. So if you want to remove that from your sheet anytime, you just right click on it and remove from sheet, so it will be removed from your sheet like that, and remove from sheet, so it will be removed. So it's not showing the blue color now. Okay, and don't forget to save your file. So that's how you can create a sheet like that. Thank you.